warnings in reality are just challenges to young people.
Yeah.
Adding them only serves to make adults feel as if they've exhausted all of their options and that they're actually doing something. No, you don't understand. We put a warning label on it.
Yeah.
My job here is done.
It's done. But hey, maybe we're the ones that are wrong. Maybe we're out of touch. Here's what the Surgeon General says. It is time to require a Surgeon General's warning label on social media platforms, stating that social media is associated with significant mental health harms for adolescents. A Surgeon General's warning label, which requires congressional action, would regularly remind parents and adolescents that social media has not been proved safe. Evidence from tobacco studies show that warning labels can increase awareness and change behavior. When asked if a warning from the Surgeon General would prompt them to limit or monitor their children's social media use, 76% of people in one recent survey of Latino parents said yes. Okay, so I guess maybe if these folks are telling the truth, that at the very least they would maybe second guess giving their very young kids access to certain apps, maybe, then okay.
Yeah, 76% of these parents said, sure, that might have an effect on me. Great data. Definitely going to happen.
Yeah, I feel like once you give the baby an iPad, you've lost.
Yep.
Like, that's where you fucked up, and these parents want like the government to do something. Everyone always loves the idea of the government doing something, making their problems go away. But that's like, in a lot of cases, that's just not how it fucking works. It's too late. The kid's hooked.
Yeah.
But yeah, once the kid hits 13, you can't they can make their own accounts. You can't control their access. Yeah, there's just no way to stop them. Kids will always know more than parents when it comes to figuring out ways to access things that they should have access to.
Yeah. And he goes on to admit that a warning label on its own won't ensure the safety of young people, but that alongside other recommendations that he's made for policymakers, platforms, and the public, it could at the very least help, I guess. That's his words.
The only thing that's changing any of this is if we institute full Xi Jinping policies.
Well, you would have to literally regulate the companies themselves.
Yeah.
And with heavy financial burdens if they somehow let this slide. But he continues, legislation from Congress should shield young people from online harassment, abuse, and exploitation, and from exposure to extreme violence and sexual content that too often appears in algorithm-driven feeds. And look, that's probably, those are good things. At face value is a good thing. Probably not going to be able to happen. Just look at Elon Musk's Twitter, for example. That's an American-owned business. That is not what they think TikTok is. That's an American-owned business, and it is literally filled to the brim with hardcore pornography, violence, and hate speech. And you can be damn sure that Elon will fight to keep that cesspool his cesspool.
But there's no teenagers on Twitter.
But They can access it.
They could.
Yeah.
But why would they?
But we can all, I think, agree on the next part. The measures should prevent platforms from collecting sensitive data from children and should restrict the use of features like push notifications, autoplay, and infinite scroll, which prey on developing brains and contribute to excessive use. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to kids, these things actually probably would help.
Yeah. I finally downloaded TikTok to my phone, like, fairly recently.
They're like, wow, we got a new user.
Yeah, I was like, I might as well check this out while it's still around. And it's weird. I mean, maybe I just haven't used it enough for it to get its claws into me, but yeah, it's just, it's too short attention span for me. But I do quite enjoy scrolling through like Instagram reels.
Yeah, well, because that's kind of you're getting the best of TikTok.
Yeah.
You're down in the mines.
Yeah, I'm like TikTok, I'm like scrolling past like 10 or 20 posts before I see anything that even like mildly interests me.
Finally, they're going to be like, all right, give this guy the carpet repair videos. That's what he's looking for.
Yeah.
He's looking for carpet repair videos and how to build a bird's nest. Give him what he wants. Drywall repair.
I wish I could download the
gardening.
The Chinese version is all just that. Chinese version is like
the educational platform.
Well, it's all just like farmers and people like working craftsmen, artisans. Yeah. I want to watch that shit.
Well, in America, people want to learn how to make slurp juice, so that's what they get in their algorithm.
Anyway, a few more notes, if we may. Here, he says, schools should ensure that classroom learning and social time are phone-free experiences. I mean, yes, sure. Sorry, buddy. Unfortunately, this is America. There seems to be an endless supply of school shootings. Kids actually do need their phones for our very USA-specific emergency situations, unfortunately. Yes. Sounds great. Yeah, just don't let anyone have cell phones in schools. And then you stop and think for one fucking second.
Oops. Yeah.
Oh. It continues. Parents, too, should create phone-free zones around bedtime, meals, and social gatherings to safeguard their kids' sleep and real-life connections, both of which have direct effects on mental health. Okay, dude. So people are exhausted because everyone has to work 5 jobs to pay for rent and childcare. Some people are also lazy and stupid. Kids are gonna get on phones and iPads because it shuts them the hell up. It gives the parents a second of peace. It's not great for the kids, obviously, but you can understand why it happens.
Yeah. Some parents get their fucking wits end. Like, just shut up.
They
Watch the Coco Melon.
They invented a machine.
It's a pacifier.
That puts the child into a literal trance and lets you have like 5 fucking minutes of peace. Unfortunately, that same device it does rot the brain of that child.
Yes.
But, you know, in the short term, very useful.
Yeah. Now, he goes on to talk about how when there is a crisis like this, the government can act and take big steps to stop it all, referencing seatbelts, grounding Boeing planes, and food recalls. All things that seem much harder to regulate online, especially when we live in a country that hasn't even caught up to Europe's progress on data protections and certain regulations. So, what can we do? Honestly, I think the only way to stop kids from destroying themselves by consuming toxic amounts of social media is probably just to convince them that it's cringe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that might actually happen naturally. And it already seems as though a decent percentage of kids are starting to reject being fully connected at all times because they've seen the damage that it's done to older generations. As Elliot pointed out, I would venture to say that Twitter's probably not getting a lot of new signups from the younger generation.
Yeah.
Facebook is already dead in the water when it comes to...
these are boomer apps.
Yeah. And they've seen what it's done to us. They've seen what it's done to even Gen Z, and especially boomers, who post nothing but minion memes and react to AI-generated garbage filling up their Facebook feeds.
Jesus, made out of shrimp.
Yeah, wow.
Amen.
Amazing, love it, beautiful. Can this shrimp man get 5 likes? So yeah, hate to say it, but we should probably just wait this out.
Yeah.
Maybe kids will look at people with brain rot and reject it.
That would be cool.
I guess we won't know until we get a Gen Alpha in office, sitting upon the skibbity throne, and declaring that there will be no new phantom tax.
What is the phantom tax?
It's when you take a little bit of food off your friend's plate.
What? Why is it called a phantom tax?
Dude, I don't fucking know. It originates from Kai Cenat's streams.
Oh.
Yeah. He pays phantom tax, he takes some food off the plate. It doesn't have to make sense.
Okay.
You know, for a while I thought it was the Phantom tax and you were paying off the ghosts.
No, Phantom.
Yeah.
Is that like a city in China?
Ask Kai Cenat.
But yeah, everyone over 40 should start using all these terms constantly.
Yeah, that's the only way to get it to stop. Just
Talk about gyats.
Anyone under the age of 25 watching this video is visually repulsed by us saying these terms.
I'm visually repulsed.
Yeah.
I hate myself more than you could ever hate me.
I think about that all the time.
Anyway, speaking of brain rot, I can feel my brain just leaking out of my ears after those first stories. So let's all take a break and listen to some ad reads. Because you guessed it, get excited. This episode is sponsored.
Oh yeah, Elon Musk doing the X.
And we're starting with...
Wait, he wasn't doing the X. He was dancing around like an idiot, and his fans were like, he's actually doing the X logo?
He's doing the human X.
All right, now it's sponsored.
But yeah, let's start with our first sponsor, Henson Shaving. Henson Shaving is a family-owned aerospace parts manufacturer that has made parts for the International Space Station and Mars rover. And now they're bringing precision engineering to your shaving experience. Razor blades are like diving boards. The longer the board, the more wobble, the more nicks, cuts, and scrapes. A bad shave isn't a blade problem, it's an extension problem. By using aerospace-grade CNC machines, Henson makes metal razors that extend just 0.0013 inches, which is less than the thickness of a human hair. That means a secure and stable blade with a vibration-free shave.
But wait, it gets better. The razor has built-in channels to evacuate hair and cream, which makes clogging virtually impossible. Seriously, Henson Shaving wants the best razor, not the best razor business. That means no plastic, no subscriptions, no proprietary blades, no planned obsolescence. The Henson razor works with standard dual-edge blades to give you that old-school shave with the benefits of new-school tech. And once you own a Henson razor, it's only about $3 to $5 per year to replace those blades. And we love this razor. It's infinitely reusable, gets the job done very, very well, and of course, you're not contributing to more plastic pollution in the process. All those disposable blades ending up in a landfill forever.
Boo.
Also, the handle's got a good weight to it. It's ridiculously cheap to refill over time, and it's always fun to reject modernity and embrace tradition.
It's time to say no to subscriptions, and yes, to a razor that'll last you a lifetime. Visit hensonshaving.com/ITdaily to pick the razor for you and use code ITdaily, and you'll get 2 years worth of blades free with your razor. Just make sure to add them to your cart. That is 100 free blades when you head to hensonshaving.com/ITdaily and use code ITdaily. Check them out if you're looking for a good shave.
And this episode is also sponsored by Shopify. You probably already know them. You probably already love them. It is Shopify, the best platform for shopping, hosting your own business, and keeping track of all your shipments in one place. There's tons of amazing duos out there in the world. We're obviously the best example. But of course, a better one is Shopify and you. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real life store stage, all the way to did we just hit 1 million orders stage? Shopify is there to help you grow.
Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. From their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system, wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout, up to 36% better compared to other leading commerce platforms. No matter how big you want to grow, Shopify gives you everything you need to take control and take your business to the next level. We love Shopify's simple and easy-to-use app because it keeps track of all your online shipments. You can even connect to other platforms so that your tracking is all in one place.
Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S., and Shopify is the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's extensive help resources are there to support your success every step of the way, because businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/ITdaily, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/ITdaily now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/ITdaily. Links are always down in the description.
Now back to the news. And if you thought you were miserable listening to the first half of this episode, buddy, it only gets worse from here, because someone has finally invented anti-woke water.
We did it, everyone.
The water was getting too woke, but they fixed it.
Yeah.
So to be fair, this product was initially launched last year. We may have covered it before, but they've recently taken their marketing to the next level. with an appearance during this past weekend's Turning Point USA conference, where they begged people to care about water made for deplorables that you can drink without shame for the low, low price of $11 per six-pack.
Wow.
Freedom ain't free. Now, we would argue that this price is too high for water, but, you know, in the premium water market, it seems about average, though most of the water that is fetching that price it's spring water. It's not filtered water from a municipal water supply. You can point out on a map where that water came out of the ground. But that's not the point. The point is that this water, it's going to say the N-word if it means keeping you hydrated.
That's right. It's willing to do anything to make sure that you are getting enough hydration.
That's what really matters, especially with water, right?
What if your choice of water can make a statement? What if it can symbolize your commitment to values like freedom, individuality, and self-reliance? Freedom 2.0 water isn't just about what's inside the bottle. It's about the message it sends with every sip. With labels like, this water isn't free, but your speech is. It's not just refreshing. It's rebellious, and it's unapologetic. Can you drink this in public? Can you freaking believe it? But that's where we are. It's a reminder that even the most ordinary acts, like taking a sip of water, can be infused with meaning and purpose. By choosing to drink Freedom 2.0, you're not just choosing a brand, you're choosing to stand up for what you believe in. Try Freedom 2.0 and tag me in your Instagram story for a repost. Hold on, drink break!
Also, love to point out how ironic it is that conservatives are attempting to sell anti-woke water that can only exist because of municipal water regulations alongside testing and approval from multiple government agencies. Facts that they proudly display on their website as badges of honor. We are approved.
Yeah, this is bullshit. We need raw water.
We are approved by the FDA. Boo!
Yeah.
Boo! Sorry, chuds.
Probably got fucking fluoride in it.
Yeah, if the water isn't coming directly out of the hose that's connected to a nearby pond or a well, it's probably too woke. You should definitely avoid that water.
It's the same water that turned the frogs gay. You're drinking it?
Definitely just keep drinking raw milk instead.
Yeah.
It's certainly not going to hurt you to drink only raw milk for every meal and throughout the day.
Gluggity glug.
Especially in the summer, before any strenuous activity, which for boomers means going from the couch to the front seat of their oversized trucks. And that's why you should also keep an extra bottle of raw milk in that truck, in that center console.
Right there on the dashboard.
Baking in the heat, so that it is the perfect temperature for consumption. If you've been drinking cold raw milk, buddy, you're an idiot. You're missing out. You need to warm that up. That's when the flavor really takes off.
Gotta let it breathe.
For legal purposes, that entire past.
Don't drink raw milk.
Was a joke.
Anywhere else, anyway, God damn it.
You've been drinking too much raw milk.
Too much raw milk for me.
Yeah.
Elsewhere in conservative politics, though, Newsmax looks to be clinging on for dear life after multiple lawsuits because they're looking to become a new tantalizing piece of meat for short sellers as the right-wing org seeks to go public on the stock exchange with an IPO. Oh, no.
What? We need cash now.
This will definitely work, and it won't completely backfire and make the entire organization look stupid while also facing their inevitable demise. So they should do it.
Yeah.
Go for it. Do it. Actually, wait. No, they're not going to listen to me.
They shouldn't do it.
Don't do it. No, I'd be so owned if they did this.
I would look like an idiot if they were so successful in the stock market.
I'd put on a big neon green jacket and a beanie, and I'd go stand outside the White House, and I'd be like, no! And let people film it, and they just reuse that on the internet every day if this were to happen.
I would be walking around as a piece of human corn on the cob. I'd be so owned.
Yeah. So here's Mediaite with more on this. Newsmax announced a bid last week to raise $225 million from investors in anticipation of an IPO later this year or early next. It's offering 30,000 shares at $5,000 each to accredited investors in an apparent attempt to mimic the success of Donald Trump's Truth Social, a media company that, despite steep financial losses, has boomed thanks in no small part to retail investors looking to give the former president a boost. That is I mean, yes, I guess.
From where
I guess you could
from
call
zero,
it a success.
It got more, yeah.
I mean,
dwindling ever since, and a bunch of investors who are angrily emailing the SEC to ask them to please stop people from short selling the stock.
Yeah, it's not fair.
It continues. Newsmax is promoting the IPO aggressively. On Saturday, Newsmax host Lydia Karanaj abruptly ended an interview with former U.S. ambassador to Germany, Rick Grenell, in order to plug the public offering. We want you to be a co-owner, the host told viewers. During Trump's speech at a TPUSA conference in Detroit, which Newsmax aired in full, the IPO was promoted with a large graphic on screen. Quote, it appears Newsmax is trying a Hail Mary pass to secure a financial lifeline with low-info investors, since legitimate funding sources will likely run from this, said one Newsmax insider with knowledge of the company's finances. In a 225-page disclosure to potential investors, Newsmax stated the company is currently involved in significant litigation, including claims relating to alleged libel or defamation and personal injury and property damage.
Wait, what?
Free speech and regulatory requirements.
Wait, what's the personal injury and property damage they're being sued?
Well, I guess we'll find out. The disclosure said the network's revenue last year was $135.3 million. The company hasn't made a profit since 2021, having lost $20 million in 2022 and $41.8 million in 2023.
Wow.
Seems like the perfect financial investment.
Isn't this a channel? Is this one of those channels you have to like specifically pay for?
Yes, I think so.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. What was the one that got taken off of DirecTV or AT&T?
OAN.
Yeah. I think Newsmax is even below that.
Is OAN even still around?
I don't know. And then there's, because they got sued as well. And there's a couple of them. Yeah, not a good month so far for conservative news outlets. The Epic Times, Newsmax, there's a couple others that are...
I mean, InfoWars, although I don't know.
I think they get to retain the production.
Yeah.
But Alex Jones is losing pretty much everything.
Yeah. But moving over to YouTube news. Looks like soon enough, YouTube videos might feature the same community notes as Twitter.
Yeah.
Now, the company looks to be rolling out a test of the feature to select creators, probably not us. And we'll be analyzing the data to see if it works for their platform. And they admit that things could probably go wrong.
Yeah, I think they saw what happened with their AI chatbot, and they were like, or the AI Google stuff.
Yeah.
They're like, look, we're gonna get ahead of this. There's gonna be a lot of mistakes.
So yeah, it sucks to be a test subject, because if something gets mislabeled, YouTube gets to say oops and move on, while it might actually affect a creator's ability to make a living. That's always fun. Overall, though, this could end up being maybe a net benefit in the same way it is for Twitter. Here's Gizmodo with more.
YouTube will soon be testing a feature that allows users to add notes under videos to correct inaccurate or misleading information, according to an announcement from the video sharing platform on Monday. The new program, which doesn't appear to have an official name yet, will be rolled out to eligible contributors who will be invited by email or notification in their Creator Studio portal. Viewers in the U.S. will start to see notes on videos in the coming weeks and months, YouTube said in a blog post. In this initial pilot, third-party evaluators will rate the helpfulness of notes, which will help train our systems. These third-party evaluators are the same people who provide feedback on YouTube's search results and recommendations.
As the pilot moves forward, we'll look to have contributors themselves rate notes as well. YouTube stressed that its efforts are just experimental at this point, and the company anticipates problems that will need to be ironed out along the way. The pilot will be available on mobile in the US and in English to start, YouTube said in a blog post on Monday. During this test phase, we anticipate that there will be mistakes. Notes that aren't a great match for the video, or potentially incorrect information. And that's part of how we'll learn from the experiment.
Oh, good.
Gizmodo then asks some pretty good questions about how exactly this will work on videos, which are obviously longer than a tweet, and can have a bunch of different topics, talking points throughout. There are still a lot of unanswered questions about how YouTube's new fact-checking system will work, including how notes might appear when a false claim is made on a very long video. Will there be timestamps to help identify where something in the video is wrong? And how many notes will be allowed on a given video? YouTube didn't respond to questions about these details on Monday.
Also, one glaring bad example of how community notes sometimes don't work at all happened this weekend when the image from the October attack where the cars were all burned out.
Yeah, all the burned out cars.
And then people were just adding completely random tweets to it. So and it would say that this has been debunked or whatever. And someone put Elon Musk is a pedophile, and it's like...
Yeah, someone at Twitter just like made it so anytime that picture appears, like I guess they just assume someone is calling it an inside job or making the claim that Israeli attack helicopters are responsible for that damage, which
Yeah, so it's like this has actually been confirmed, and it's like, so you see the tweet where it says Elon Musk is a pedophile, and it says this has actually been confirmed in the community note.
So yeah, you can post that picture with like literally anything, and the community note will automatically appear
and say that
this has been debunked.
Yeah,
which is fun. Anyway, finally today, one for the gamers in the audience. You simply have to go read this recent article by Mike Drucker titled, "I'm personally going to force game companies to put in all the stuff that you hate." And much like his previous work, it cuts through the typical light touch approach to calling out the angrier parts of gaming fandom by going all in with a satirical onslaught. The article is linked in the description below. Please check out the whole thing, but here's some of our favorite quotes from it.
You might be wondering what stuff you hate is making its way into games. That's the fun part. Apparently, you don't know what you hate until you see it. But buddy, after you see it, you treat it like you've known about it forever, and it's the biggest scandal the gaming world has ever experienced. You are just trying to enjoy games, right? You're the target audience, not these tourists who apparently put more of their time, money, energy, and professional talent into games than you. It's not your fault that you're the only person in the room who's the most angry at games all the time. Why can't we go back to the good old days of Metroid when you didn't know you were playing as a woman until later? Back then, we didn't have to have a character's whole identity crammed down our throats, mainly because a character's whole identity was a 4x10 stack of pixels. But now that games are more realistic, I've got a job to do, friendo. And that job is making sure that Lara Croft winks a little weird so that she's not sexy anymore.
Sure, you could be angrier with the actual problems in games. You could be mad that companies tout record success while laying off record numbers of people. You could be furious that employees are expected to work 24/7, often without any reward. You could be frustrated that it's hard for smaller companies to break through the white noise of game releases. You could be tired of bigger companies nickel and diming players with features that should have been in the original package. But I think we agree it's more important that you tell everyone on Earth you miss the days when characters were basically precious moments figurines with massive honkers. Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, go check that out. Links down below. Worth a read.
And that's it for today's episode. We'll be back with some tech news, including probably a clip of Elon going, "Ah!"
A lot of great Photoshops coming out.
He just does not know how to be normal.
No.
No.
He's cringe personified.
He sure is. In the meantime, though, make sure you like the video. Click the like button. Come on. Come on, you've been slacking. Click the like button. Do it right now.
He's going to do it. He did it.
Thank you. Gosh, I appreciate you. Also, click the subscribe button if you're not already. We're so close. You don't need to join. We had 2 sponsors today. You're all good.
Yeah,
Take a break. In the meantime, though, watch our most recent episode of Weekly Weird News, which, luckily, we don't have to worry about quicksand. Unless... Find out more by watching Weekly Weird News. And also a new episode of News Dump about America's hero. America's hero,
Our
Joey
greatest
Chestnut.
athlete, yeah.
Yeah, being shut out from competition. So
Shame.
sad. Check both of those out, and we'll see you soon for some tech news.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Really close. At one point, I had, and I mean like for 2 days, when I say close, for 2 days I had about $780,000-$800,000 in crypto. Went to bed one night and it was worth half that when I woke up.
Who's ready for the biggest pity party in the entire world? I hope you're all raising your hands, boys and girls. It's going to be an exciting one. The marathon of Boogie since the documentary is released just churns on. If you're unaware of what this show is, let me give you a synopsis. A couple months ago, I stumbled on this channel called Caleb Hammer, and he was doing this series called Financial Audit. He basically brings a bunch of people onto a show and goes over the finances with them and tells them what they have to do in order to get in a better financial standing. And I saw a post and Boogie was going to be on the show, which is funny because we all know that Boogie is just a habitual liar who's just not going to follow through with whatever Caleb ends up telling him to do. And Caleb seems like a very nice guy. He seems like he's looking out for the best interest of the people that come on his show. But Boogie, he's there to try and extend his clout in any way that he can. And in fact, Caleb's also doing that. He even admits halfway through this 2-hour-long audit that he didn't get to run the numbers exactly how he typically does for a show, because I'm sure this probably came together relatively quickly. And, you know, Boogie's gonna catch himself in some lies, but it's just really embarrassing to see a 50-year-old man's financial report where he's doing things like spending $900 on fast food a month. Holy shit, dude. So there's a lot of things to go through. I did my best to not include things that I've already talked about or were discussed in other videos elsewhere. I'm trying to only focus on new content. So, without further ado, let's see how the bookster's doing.
How much are you making?
10 to 15,000, I think.
A month?
Yeah, in a month, right?
Incredible, yeah.
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, incredible. More than you could ever hope to spend, right?
Yeah.
Not to make any excuses, but keep in mind, I didn't come from money. I'm the son of a coal miner, right? And so no one in my life was ever trying to teach me what to do with
It's
money
true.
or how to do it with money. So somebody comes along and they're like, look, I took my initial million
Yes.
and I turned it into 20 million. You should do that too.
I don't really like the argument, oh, I didn't come from money, therefore I don't understand how to treat money. I understand that's a large segment of people who are poor. That's not how my ancestors were raised. My grandparents were super frugal in everything that they did. They would eat expired food. They would eat food that had mold on it. And I'm not saying that they were well off necessarily. They were probably upper poor class, lower middle class, somewhere in that range. But they lived through war-torn Europe. I mean, they did all these crazy things, and they figured out how to save money to send their kids to college at some point. Now, the kids figured it out on their own how to have a more stable lifestyle past that point, but I'm never gonna take it as an acceptance of a 50-year-old man still blaming his upbringing for why he can't be financially viable in today's society, especially somebody, and he basically, we'll get to this a little bit later, he basically says that in his lifespan of YouTube, he really only had 2 or 3 years of really good YouTubing, which is what I would guess this 10 to 15K a month number comes from. And, you know, it's hard for me to feel bad for Boogie when he had all this success, all this windfall, completely pissed it away, and still wants to be the victim. It still wants to be a victim. He wants to play McJuggernuggets for why he doesn't have any money. If you, at any point in your life, have $800,000 of, and that's basically 99% of your savings in crypto, then you don't deserve to have success. Sorry, that's just how life works out. Now, if you were a multi-millionaire and 5% of your portfolio was in crypto, cool, go for it. That's a risk you're willing to take. But Boogie is too brain dead to understand how big of a risk and how stupid he was to follow through with that, comparing, especially somebody like McJuggernuggets was way more successful than Boogie ever was on the platform. So yeah, no doy, he's able to invest that much more and get more out of it. But Boogie, he never sees the end goal. He sees, oh, food, that's good, I'll take that. Oh, money, cool, I'll take that, without seeing the bigger picture. It's like he's looking inside of a telescope all the time, fixating on some star, and is completely unaware of the galaxy that's surrounding him. It's just, it's sad. It's sad. Not for him, but for us for having to deal with it.
44,000 in the last year, but
Which gives us $3,724 a month on average, but we know a lot of that has to do
huge
with
spike came from this latest
documentary.
right?
Okay, the documentary link
And that-
below. Mike's awesome.
And that spike absolutely will not be sustainable. Now I have a few other projects. I got a great podcast in the works called the Lolcow Podcast. We just made our 5th episode. It's profitable. I think
much
that's
is
going to be an income bring-in. That's easily going to bring in probably $2,000 a month, I think, within the next 6 months. So that's going to be a nice lifeline.
We're almost 5 million subscribers, down to gonna fall below 4 potentially.
Yeah, it probably will. Probably by the time this airs, honestly. There's a very real chance, yeah.
With that, like there's clearly people that are still very dedicated boogie heads,
And I've
whatever you
never-
might call them.
I did asked these people for help like a year ago, and the internet publicly shared.
You've asked people
Because I
for help
provided
a lot.
no value.
I hate Boogie. I really do. It's moments like this that really irritate me because he goes on to try and explain that video of him crying and sobbing in the backyard, asking for more money after he was just flexing about thinking about buying a Tesla and how he's a multi-millionaire and how he made so much money off of crypto. Then comes back 6 months later and says, guys, I'm really destitute. I need money. I had a really big health scare show up. Like, no, you don't just get to do that and then also get to play the victim. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that you continue to try and push this lie and then you say, oh, I'm being attacked by everybody. Why is everybody attacking me on the internet? What's going on, guys? I'm just a guy down on his luck. I'm just a 500-pound guy down on his luck and everybody's so mean to me. It's like, how much of a pathetic loser do you have to possibly be? There's so many people I see out there who are still trying to make their job or whatever they're trying to do work, and it's so much worse than it has been. They're trying to scrunch it together, and at least they have some pride. They have some pride. They'll ask for help if they're absolutely desperate, but they are thankful to the high heavens if anybody would be willing to step up for them. That's not good. And if you really think about it, $44,000 in the year, if you include the spike, let's say the spike accounted for 4K of that. And let's say by the end of this year, he's going to end up with 40,000 without that spike. All right. And if you do taxes on it, maybe he's around 30K. I don't really know how it breaks down. I don't know what his other income sources are. 30K, if he was financially intelligent and had paid off his house, 30K a year would be tough, but he would be able to live off of it. He wouldn't have a mortgage payment, he'd just be paying property taxes, and then he has a lot of medical expenses that he'd have to update. But I'll bring this up later, but if he actually had any interest in saving money, he could just try and lose weight, do anything. And no, he just won't do that. He'll take the easy way out always, because that's the boogie way. The boogie way is taking the easy way out, baby. Why work hard for things when you could just beg on the internet? That's like the #1 quote in the Bible with DSP. And Boogie is he's just plagiarizing that bad boy.
Look at the 17-year history. I had like 2 really good years.
You've made $1.3 million. Incredible.
In 17 years, which comes out to what per year?
I know, but that's still
You're a math guy?
well, not a public math guy.
Yeah.
What did I say? 1.3?
Yeah.
Over 17? 17 when you started earning?
Or 15 when I started.
Yeah, 86,000 hours a year. Well, I mean, you're above the median household income.
Out of disability, which is what I was on when I started the YouTube channel.
Yeah, absolutely. But this, managing money correctly and not spending a lot of it on prostitution would equate to us having at least a little bit of money now.
Well, again, to address that important part of the doc, #1, those numbers were rounded up. Mike admitted that those numbers are rounded up and adjusted. Secondly, the majority of that money was spent traveling. And I went to the Game Awards. I went to Disney. It was still a huge waste of money. But I think if we're dropping character, I think if we're being genuine here, I think I tried to get a travel channel off the ground and try to do what my friend Jacob the Carpetbagger and Adam the Woo do. And I thought people would watch me go to Disneyland, right? I'm a big fat weird guy trying to do this, do that. Turns out they did not want to watch me do that.
It's a guy who's making $90K a year for 15 years straight and still doesn't have any retirement funds. Somehow, I don't know where all that money went that you're spending it all on travel. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. And maybe that's a sizable chunk that you took out. Maybe you lost $100,000 in traveling, trying to do this other business adventure. And maybe that's true. Still, that's only one year of salary out of the 15 years of salary. So if you were doing any basic investment or saving strategies, you would easily be able, I wouldn't say necessarily to retire. He's living on an upper middle class income for the most part. He's living above the standards of a 2-income household across the nation, I'm pretty sure, especially in Arkansas. So he definitely could have bided some time for himself with that 1.3 million. And also, if we, that's not even like the whole picture. Like, if you include all of his other income elsewhere, I'm sure this dude in 15 years has made $2.5 million. And so he was really probably making like 180K to 200K a year for 15 years straight. And now he's broke. And it's like, but that's on the trolls for being mean to him. It's not like he was a condescending, narcissistic asshole for his entire career. But no, it's our fault. It's not like he drove his wife away and is preying on young girls to fulfill himself in his life. No. It's my fault for pointing out his flaws. How dare I step outside of that box and criticize the almighty Boogie?
What do we do when you're no longer here and you've left nothing to a widow?
Well, my process has always been, when I met her, without getting into her personal history too much, because it's not necessarily the place for it, but when I met her, she was struggling with severe social anxiety. She was struggling with just getting her life together. When I met her, I was talking to my friend Michael Tippon, and his plan was just be the person you needed when you were in that position. Because that's who I was when I was your age. When I was 20 years old, just like her, I couldn't function in the world. I played EverQuest and World of Warcraft and built terrible websites and made a barely passable living.
What does this have to do with you leaving or anything?
Well, hold on, I'm getting to that.
Okay.
If I left her destitute,
Yeah.
my plan is to still leave her better off than she was.
Yeah.
If I have to sell everything I own, if I have to, and I have, we've made some concessions that I'm not entirely comfortable with sharing because the people involved are private people.
Sure.
But I did move a roommate in. He's been helping a little bit here and there. I had a roommate over the last 25 years. He's finally been able to kick in a little bit as well. So we are finding ways to.
So there's 2 roommates.
Yeah.
Okay.
Has that boomer mindset of, I made a ton of money because the economy was good my entire life, and I was able to buy my 2-story house for $40,000 300 years ago, and now it's worth $1 million. But don't worry, I decided to donate it to the local book club so that they can convert it into a local library instead of giving it to my children who live on minimum wage incomes. That's the mindset that we're dealing with Boogie over here. He's like, he doesn't care about this girl. He doesn't. He loves the fact that she is so attached to him. Her fingers are clawed into him because she's such an emotional wreck that she has to cling on to him for some sort of validation or dopamine intake or feeling like she's heading in the right direction. And Boogie loves that. Oh, he savors that shit. Oh yeah. And you know, Boogie can say, I'm not gonna have any money to give her. Where's all the money going? Well, he's moving a second roommate in. So like his mortgage is like $2,200 a month, right? And if he has 2 roommates in, which sounds like he is just letting them live there essentially for free because they do everything for him, like mow the grass, probably get his groceries, probably wipe his ass, probably clean the house. They do all that stuff. I don't know what Des is doing. She's probably hanging out with her plushies. She's not really doing anything. She's filleting Boogie in her free time. And so those 2 guys probably only spend like $300 on rent or something like that. So instead of Boogie being able to crush down the mortgage to like $800 a month or $700 a month, because he still claims that the area he lives in is like a nice area and he lives in a 5-bedroom house. So if he has 2 friends, like hell, if I had a successful friend like that lived in a nice area that I wanted to live in, he had a huge house that he wasn't utilizing and said, hey, you want to come live in this house for, I don't know, $700 a month rent? I'd be like, hells yeah, I do, because my other options would be to go get an apartment for like $1,200. So I'll save that $500 and go live with Boogie or my friend at that moment. So it's like, I don't know. He's being taken advantage of. He's taking advantage of other people. It's just a whole circle of regardation going down.
Because it's not a good one. And nothing I'm about to say is an excuse.
Let's hear it.
But the headspace that I was in 2018 was not a very good one. And so I was not planning for a potential future because I did not feel that I had.
Yeah.
In 2018, Christmas, I had planned to take my own life. And I made it to that Christmas date, and I decided to postpone it for the dumbest reasons. Christmas Day, I'm sitting there alone. I have my dog in my lap, and my roommate's out of town, and I realized my dog's going to be sitting there with my dead body for 3 days. And I'm like, you know what? I need to wait.
Here comes the sob story, guys. Here it comes. Boogie probably, the actuality of the story was he probably remembered that he could have taken out his phone and gone to the McDonald's app and saved himself 50 cents on a double cheeseburger. So he went with that avenue and forgot what he was thinking about the entire time. That's why I think is a more likely story. I know there's people out there saying, Saturated, you can't be critiquing things like that. This is a sensitive subject. This is a personal topic. You can't be judging. You don't know him. You don't know what he was going through. Yet, Boogie, this happened 5 years ago. He claims he's over it. He claims he's moved past it. It doesn't affect me anymore. But anytime somebody comes and criticizes me, I'm going to say, whoa. 5 years ago, I thought it was all over. Why would I care about myself? Boogie, that's 5 years ago. Your entire body is different from 5 years ago. You could have changed everything in your entire life. Everything in your entire life, or at least started to, in those 5 years. What have you done? You've only gotten worse. You've only gotten worse since then. You've claimed you've changed for the better. I'm a new Boogie. I'm so much better than I was back then. You're the same person, Boogie. Nobody who has above a 70 IQ is falling for your tricks and your deception. And it's unfortunate that the only person who really is doing that is your 20-year-old girlfriend who lives inside your penthouse, your bad boy shack. That's the only one who's falling for it.
Probably rightfully so, but for whatever reason, I think I'm held to a standard that I don't know that I'm good enough for. I'm going to say something.
Well, you also react to everything. You feed them. You feed them. I haven't opened TikTok in like 2 months, so it's like.
Yeah, a lot of things you want to talk about have really changed since March.
Whatever works for you, man.
Old Boogie, a year ago, the egotistical, self-centered, extremely defensive man.
Think you're different?
Considerably.
Okay.
I spent way too much on it. How much? It's purebred, miniature poodle.
Sure.
Which generally will cost you about $3,000 to $3,500.
Okay.
I bought them in the festival.
How much money did you have at the time?
Oh, about $108,000.
Oh, that's okay.
But again, I was in mind that I needed to build credit, so I took out a loan.
What the? Is that the personal loan?
Yeah, that's the personal loan.
Dude, you're killing it.
That's the loan. That's the
synchrony. It's the synchrony.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, everybody's too hard on him, guys. Come on. Why would you have expectations for somebody? Why would you do that? Boogie is just scum underneath the bottom of our shoes. Unless it conveniently isn't that for him and he can be the victim in a different perception. You know, if he can lord over you in some way, he's going to take advantage of that. He clearly doesn't view himself as below the bottom scum of the earth. He just uses that to try and manipulate you, so don't fall for it. That's just a boogieism that he likes to do. It's no big thing. It's no big thing. But it's cute that he thinks that he's such a change formulated person. And Caleb picks up on that. He's like, you really think that's true? Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm sure you've really changed for the best. I mean, we all know why you're on the show. We all know because there's really there's a ticking clock on the Boogie channel, and it's probably not going to turn out very well. And it's cute because if you remember, we talked about his dog in the previous episode where he said, I really don't care about this dog. Boring. I know I spent $3,000 on it, but who cares? It's too active. I need a dog that just sits there. I can't have a dog that is energetic. And he was getting another dog to try and replace his other dog. It's just like a weird, morbid thing. It's like, I mean, I have some issues with spending that much money on a purebred dog's food. Like, in some regards, I understand going to shop for a dog, because if you want a specific breed of dog, sometimes it's hard to find in like a pound. But you could have literally gone to the pound and spent $10 on a dog that would probably be more mild tamed than the one that you got. And he's like, I'll just get rid of it. Who cares? We'll move past it. It's no big thing. It's like, that's how you know Boogie's not a very good person. How somebody treats animals is a clear indication of how good or bad somebody is, and it just so happens that Boogie's a bad guy. Shocker, I know.
Late payment fee, October 31st. Late payment fee. $25. Late payment fee, December 1st. This just happened.
Yep.
Oh, me.
October was a very lean month.
Oh, and you have a brand new iPhone.
Dude, this phone was free.
Really?
Yeah, Verizon traded us an iPhone 7 for that.
Very
Thank
important
you,
business purpose. Chick-fil-A. Lucky is all the way back.
Dude, you eat. Don't you eat? I eat. People eat. I definitely eat. I eat a lot.
Nah, you don't have to eat out if we can't afford to
Dude,
live.
I can't cook for 3 people for cheaper than $12. Quicker,
so it's
more convenient, taste.
There we
and
go.
on top of that,
So now there's more reasons.
it's affordable, right? We eat out 2 or 3 days a week. It adds up to $15. Yeah, 15, 30, 45 bucks. It adds up to
card.
Well, we do eat groceries at home. We have like some of the inexpensive meals we make. We make tacos, we make shrimp pasta. If I'm really feeling splurgy, we'll make burgers at home. We eat at home the majority of the time. Yeah.
So Boogie's clearly lying here. Anybody that's gonna try and tell you, oh yeah, I feed 3 people on a fast food diet, and we only go out once. Don't worry, guys, we only go out once. It's not like we saw the Mike Flum documentary where he felt bad for 5 minutes and decided to stop and get $30 of Taco Bell. We'll move past that part. It's not like that happens on a regular basis. No, of course not. Instead, he spends $15. He claims, yeah, we go to Chick-fil-A. We just get 3 chicken sandwiches for $5 a pop. Yeah, I'm sure, Boogie. You're not getting fries. You're not getting a slushie. You're not getting a drink. Yeah, I'm sure. You're only getting 1 sandwich. Yeah, that's really likely, bud. And the crazy part is people can't comprehend the fact that shopping for your own food is 100% of the time, every single time, probably healthier and cheaper. People don't understand that because they're like, well, when I go to the grocery store, I spend $150. Well, yeah, because the things hopefully that you're buying, if you're actually buying ingredients to cook with and you're not buying ho-hos and other processed box garbage, then you're buying food that can be made into multiple meals, right? So you spend that money and it's more up front, but you get more out of it in the back end versus if you spend, let's pretend, $15 for one meal, one singular meal every single time. And we know Boogie's not going home. I don't know where this whole thing is. Oh yeah, we're making burgers at home. I'm sure he probably does eat sandwiches from time to time, but let's not pretend he's over there making burgers and making meatloaf and making salads on a consistent basis, all right? That's not a thing. That doesn't exist. Maybe Des will pick it up. Maybe she'll finally contribute to the family aspect that's going on in this weird polyamorous clown show house that's existing in Fayetteville.
Then I'm struggling here. Do you care?
I do. It's again.
Then stop. Be an adult. Act your age is what I would say.
I mean, that's fair. Again, food has not been a area that I have been very successful at controlling.
Trust me, I can't really talk about it either.
Dude, let me tell you.
But at least I can afford it.
I've taken it's bigger than you. Okay? All right? Listen to me, dude. I've eaten more than you at a buffet before.
Just
okay?
please not in my bathroom,
all right?
please.
I appreciate that you think you know what it's like to be addicted to food. I promise you don't.
I think it's cute for Boogie. He'd be the exact same person to say it's a transgression to attack somebody for their size and for what they think about themselves. But he'll turn right around and say, you don't understand what it's like to have a food problem. There's a scale to that, buddy. There's a scale. Yeah, you're in the fast, higher upper scale where you are so fat, you get surgery, and you fail the surgery, and you're still fat. That's the scale you're in. There are people on the lower scale who are consistently overweight and fluctuate and yo-yo up and down 20 pounds or so because they have an unhealthy correlation to food. And as somebody who's been 400 pounds before, I think I'm completely aware of what being addicted to food is. Probably not to the gravity that you're attached to it, but I also understand that there are certain times and there are certain instances that I have no control over what I eat. And if you've ever seen the movie The Whale, I have plenty of criticisms about The Whale, but the one scene that I feel like was done super well was when Brendan Fraser starts binging when he gets like really upset over something, and he just devours like everything in the kitchen. Now that's like the biggest, highest, most caloric example you could give, but there are variations to that instance. And I think people that have issues with food, nobody that is over, I shouldn't say over, nobody that's obese has a healthy relationship with food, but that's okay. You can critique them, whatever. When it goes against you, it's a transgression, but when it's somebody else, it's, oh, you don't understand the pain, buddy. Look at me, I'm fat.
Your editor, you pay your editor?
When I need to, yeah. When he's got a project that we need him to work on.
Why aren't you editing your own stuff? You have time, I assume.
He's incredibly better at it, and so if I have an actual project that needs to get done, and he works for minimum wage for me, to be very clear, because he's a friend. So, but occasionally he'll get a business dinner to talk projects and stuff.
That throws off the average of 15 a day, turning it to what would probably be evenly distributed, $20, $25 a day, throwing the Starbucks maybe $30 a day on average.
Sure, yeah.
So if we actually start going off of that, and again, I wasn't able to do the normal math that I was able to do before most episodes. We're looking closer to like $900 a month, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Let's call it that then. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely room to cut. I include anytime we talk about these budgets online, I generally say 600 for the stuff, but 900 might be more realistic.
But you can't afford 600.
That's true.
Lending, personal loan, 3,448.
That's my dog. And you want to know something? Worst investment in my life, because I don't even like the dog that much. I love my first dog. He's like he's my soul dog. He's like the fake member of the family. The second dog, he's mostly just a dog.
So here's Boogie just really reinvigorating the spirit on how well he probably treats his dog in the background. Clearly, he probably just doesn't get as much attention as the dog deserves. That's okay. We'll move past it. It's not that big. It's not that big of a deal. But the biggest issue with this entire thing is that Boogie has an editor that he uses sometimes. And if you've ever watched any of Boogie's content, I could not tell you what a Boogie edited video and what this editor's videos look like, because it's not like Boogie has any crazy overlays or After Effects plugin things going on in his videos. He's not doing crazy voiceover stuff, none of that stuff. Like, oh, this guy, he did a zoom in, he took a bunch of clips and he edited them down into one comprehensive video. It's like, is that worth you paying an editor for? And I never will take this excuse from these people that they're like, well, I'm just not good. That's what DSP says. I'm just not good at editing. I haven't figured it out. It's your job. What do you mean? There's plenty of times in my job where I have to learn a new software. I have to learn how to do something because that's part of my job. It's like, for some reason you feel like just because I didn't have to do in the past, I don't have to do in the future. You don't have money, buddy. Stop spending money on an editor for videos that don't get you any views. It's worthless.
I mean, like,
It's
the minimum
15 to
payment's like
30.
$20 a month, so off of
You know
1,000.
You know why the minimum payment's $20 a month? Because they want that interest to continue to accrue.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought I was
that's
paying
not
more
your
benefit.
benefit. No. Oh,
Well, the
buddy.
number's never broken over like 1,000. So
No.
am I-
Okay, I'm understanding where we might be in terms of financial knowledge. No, that's not how it works.
Okay.
Credit
Okay.
cards.
But then educate me.
Yeah, so
yes,
well,
please.
Well, the credit card for credit cards, we never want to hold a balance anyway. Because if we're holding a balance, whether or not you're making a minimum payment, it's accruing interest unless it's in an interest-free period.
So if I were to pay anything off first, it's clearly this dog loan. That's got to be right.
What was my, the next time I have you on, I want it because you've paid off.
I mean, give me credit for one thing. I keep it paid if I can, if it's at all humanly possible. Like if a bill's due, the bill gets paid.
No.
I obviously
No.
not the credit cards.
Well,
but
I
like
mean,
the loan
what?
the loan payments get made.
How can I give you that due
Nothing's
though?
defaulted at least.
I can't
Right?
give you that credit though. If there's one of any of the things are not being paid, I can't give you the credit of making the payments.
Okay, well, I mean, I'll still have to pay off this phone before I get there, but yes.
So wait.
Yeah, like
Told
I
me
said,
that phone was $0.
It added up to like there was a balance of $420 spread across 24 months. But it's 0% interest.
I know, but we can't switch to another carrier.
Yeah.
Infamous lies, in case you missed it before. He claimed that he turned in his iPhone 7 for free at Verizon for a new phone. And I have Verizon, and I've turned in old phones in the past to get new phones. The most recent example I can think of is I traded in my iPhone 8 for an iPhone 10 that I still have today. And it was essentially free. I think I paid like $100. I think that's what the transfer for it was. Boogie claims, yeah, it was free. It was just like $500 that I have to pay in 2 years. You don't have $500, buddy. An iPhone 7 is gonna work for you. I don't know what you're already playing gotcha games over there. You got WWE champions on your phone. Is that what you're trying to play over there? And we find out right here that he doesn't understand what interest is. He doesn't understand how credit cards work. I mean, the whole thing is, if you're unaware, if you're younger watching my videos, if you get a credit card, basically treat it like a debit card. You use it to build your credit by buying things on it, but you pay it off in full every single month. You don't pay the minimum balance because that accrues interest. And usually credit cards, especially when you're younger and you're getting a credit card, the interest rate's probably gonna be like 28%. So it's just the whole goal is to keep you in debt forever. That's the whole task of it. It's unfortunate, but if you understand how credit cards work, you can use them to help manipulate the system. You can get money back, you can get travel miles, you can do a whole bunch of things. And don't fall for the trap that Boogie's falling for. Pay off your credit cards in full every single month.
I'm curious, do you find yourself throughout your life playing justification games?
Certainly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it just might be something worth escaping in the future, is just instead of trying to justify like every last thing, a reason for everything happening, reason why I did this, a reason why I made this choice is because of this whole winded thing of a character I'm trying to do and all this stuff.
Well, in
instead
therapy,
of just justification.
Well, in therapy, we learn why we do things, right? I know why. During the Frank Castle situation, when a man was battering down my door, calling me the N-word and an F-A-G-G-O-T and all the, I know why I opened that door.
Yeah. It's insane. It adds an additional, 20% to your budget, 15% to your budget, and we can't even survive in the needs.
Oh.
It's just really no longer a choice. So you're choosing at this point, even, yes, addictive tendencies. I get it, and that is not my thing to talk about. If you choose to do that after this conversation, you've chosen just giving up and just.
Well, I mean, after this conversation, I'm going to continue to do what I've been doing for the last 30 to 45 days, which is work as much as I humanly possibly can.
How many hours a day do you think?
I'm putting in like a good 40-hour work week now.
Okay. Well, I think that when we can't survive, I think that needs to be 60 to 80.
Yeah, that's fair.
Pretty rich coming from Boogie. First off, I'm not super well versed in the whole Frank Castle thing. I don't think he was bashing down his door, trying to break through his window, climbing through the air ducts inside of his house to get inside. I don't think that's what was actually happening. I think Boogie was just having a manic episode. Secondly, it's so rich. This man saying, I'm working as hard as humanly possible. As hard as humanly possible. Yeah, that's like 30, 40 hours a week. All you can do is laugh at that point. Boogie, I'm working a full-time job, and I'm doing YouTube on the side. I'm probably working, I don't know, like 60-hour weeks plus to try and maintain that. Probably more than that. Probably like 70 hours a week doing this stuff. And it's like, I enjoy it. That's why I do it. And I have some passion in it. And I have some people that are looking forward to it. And you're just looking to make a quick buck. And it's like, as soon as Caleb calls him out on that and says, well, you have to work like 60 to 80 hours to make it work. Boogie's like, yeah, that's fair. That sounds right. So you're obviously not working as many hours as you could. You're just doing the bare minimum to try and skirt by. And yeah, that's cute. That's cute of you, Boogie. And you know, it's your life. You make of it what you want. And what you want is the easiest, quickest way out. And the way you do that is anytime you're confronted with anything uncomfortable, you say, yeah, you're probably right. That's probably what I should do. Pathetic.
Makes sense. There you go. I would apply to these billion, trillion, quadrillion jobs.
I have. I'm telling you. I've done this exact thing in the
You've
last
applied
year.
for all of them.
No, I applied for over a dozen, and I kept getting
that's
told the
nothing.
same thing, which is, dude, you're unemployable.
Yeah. So even for the people that are very employable, though, applying for a dozen jobs, you likely won't get a single job.
Okay, I had that head on.
Yeah.
Tell me off camera. Man, there's nothing we're going to be able to do for you. I don't think there's anything. You need to focus on the YouTube thing.
Okay. Favorite thing is always to punch back against certain mindsets and try to push people to better themselves. So this is what I try.
Well, like I said, I promise you, I'm not giving up hope.
Yeah.
Like if it comes down to my YouTube channel is no longer making me money
Yeah,
anymore, and I literally have to steal for a living, I'll do it.
Well, let's not do that.
No, but I'm telling you, if I had to steal bread to feed my family, I would be that guy.
Yeah.
Right? I will do whatever it takes to survive.
French Revolution, he'd steal bread for his family, guys. Don't you worry. I know it's he you know, security camera might catch him. He'd be, I don't know, 60 feet away from the door when the cops arrive 30 minutes later. So, you know, it'd be a little bit hard to get away with a heist like that, Boogie. But hey, keep on dreaming, bud. At least you have some goal for the future. And it's cute that he's talking about, I got fortunate when I came out of school. I had work experience in my career field, and I had connections in the city but I still applied to more places than Boogie did. I have way more options than he did, and I got to interview to a lot more places. But it's funny because in my mind, I hear the dozen number, and part of me is like, I don't know if Boogie's still on disability payment. I know he's on disability through the government, but I don't know if he's getting paid through it still or if there's some benefits involved. But I know with a lot of those things, they typically try and make you try and find employment. It's the same with like parole. Hey, you have to show proof that you're trying to find employment. And Boogie's probably just bombing all these things. Also, just as a final note, if Boogie could find a call center job, because there's plenty of call centers that I'm aware of, that they will hire literally anybody. Felons, disabled people, blind people, doesn't matter. As long as you can pick up a phone and call somebody, they will hire you because they need bodies. And you're a body, Boogie, and sitting down is something you can do. I know you can't do like manual labor, which would be much more plentiful, but that's an option for you. Either way, I rambled on long enough. This is my longest Boogie video yet. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you think Boogie's lying about anything else. And until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
My first question to you is, do you think you're a lolcow?
I actually didn't know what a lolcow was, but based on everything you said, I think I'm a surface lolcow. It's probably a permanent guess. As far as I know, the definition is that we are people that are online presence that are like, self-delusional. We don't know that people just want to pick on us when we super serious and everyone's a friend.
So in the sphere of lolcow stardom, of all the major lolcows that I talk about, I examine, that other people talk about, Blade and Wings, I feel like, are typically the two that are semi more grounded in reality than a lot of the other ones are. There's still locales, don't get me wrong. Locales, I mean, Blade's explanation is decent. You can add on to it that's like it's somebody who never learns a lesson from what they do, and people can milk them for content. And that's basically how I view it. I know other people view locales differently, whatever, you know, pick your battles. All right, this is the battle I'm gonna let you decide on. But essentially, this whole video is sort of centered around the idea that I hate Boogie. I just hate him. I was planning on this video to be solely centered around Blade and what he's talking about, and there's plenty of that. But Boogie just gets me angry, man. The things he says, his caricatures, I mean, his face is shaking his head around when Blade's saying, oh yeah, you're a locale. It's, oh God. He's the least self-aware person in the entire world, and he's also so narcissistic, and the combination of the two just makes my blood boil. I didn't think I was gonna get this heated in the opening monologue, but here we are. Let's get into the Locale Live podcast with Blade.
I mean, you're married now. How long have you been married?
I'm not married.
Okay, you've been with somebody for a while now? One of the videos I saw said you've been with somebody in Becky for a couple of years now.
Well, I was
expecting twins and stuff.
I was with Beck for about 3 to 4 years. Recently,
And this is the most frustrating part, is like Keemstar wants to try and figure out why, you know, Wings and Boogie are like kind of holding the show down. They're not really promoting it, they're not being active with anything, and it's like, well, look at their work history on YouTube, and then you'll understand why they have no motivation, no desire to do anything on the platform, try and make any of their content any better. It's no shock to that. Boogie's paying an editor to edit some of his videos where you literally can't tell the difference between whether one video is edited and the other one's not. It's just like, it's bizarre. And he's over here, he can't even get like the most basics of only use with Blade correctly. It's like Wings and Blade, I understand the dynamic, they are aware of each other. The other two have not interacted with Blade like ever. And Boogie in particular, Boogie is way out of his element. And he's coming over here saying, how long have you been married and you're expecting twins? It's not even like a funny joke. It's like, were you watching some documentary that has 45 views that was posted 10 years ago? Like, I don't understand where you're getting the information from. There's plenty of documentaries, I think, obscure certain facts or like don't present the whole picture. But most of them get the baselines kind of correct, mostly that you can approximate. There's never been speculation outside of like trolls saying, it's all scripted. It's like there's been no speculation that Blade was married to Beck and was having twins. Boogie, goddamn.
in that, honestly.
So like, there's a huge difference between my clips and your clips. Like when people say I'm a piece, my clips are like usually on like a podcast setting like this, where I'm trying to be entertaining and saying shocky. Your clips is drinking and driving.
Wait for it. So you gotta drive to get more air, dude. Good damn right, dude. Play Post Malone. What's he goes last?
You know, I mean, I did do that on a stream before, and I'm not proud of that. Obviously, that should never
you've
happen.
done it at least twice in my recollection in like the last year.
Blade, I was not familiar with you until today. Okay. And I watched two different videos about you, Sunny V2 and Internet AJ, and I do think you're scum of the earth. And that's coming from me, and I'm pretty scummy.
Your two sources for whether or not you think somebody is the worst person on earth is Sunny V2 and Internet AJ. I mean, come on, he's not a real person. The two videos you watch were Sunny V2 and Internet AJ, the guy who left the internet because he just read Wikitubia and that was his fucking videos. That's the guy that you're taking your information from, dude. I mean, like, go to the source, man. It's like at least Wings is aware of like Lummox and Wings 007 and Breaking Banquet and Mr. Yellow Dick Swagger and all those people, right? He's aware of what they're putting out. Boogie has no clue. He doesn't even know where to look. I'm not saying that he has to come to my channel and listen to me babble about these fucking freaks, but like, you can't find a better documentary about Blade than Sunny B2 and Internet AJ. Oh my god. And you want to wonder why people don't take you seriously ever. You don't take any effort to try and get anything correct, and you will never rescind the fact that which one of the two idiots said that he was married and having twins? Probably Internet AJ, the guy who knows nothing about anything but likes to masquerade like that. That's the problem with all of these documentary commentary, you know, let's do a biopic on different people, is like they have like a million different people working and collecting the information for them, and there's no genuineness to them. You know, believe it or not, I'm out here in the muck, I'm shoveling that shit out to try and see, all right, let's see what's going on here. And yeah, I get things wrong from time to time, but I at least can feel like, you know what, I'm in the trench with the rest of you. I'm not the commander sitting 2 miles back with the artillery with binoculars looking out at the battlefield. We're on the front line just stabbing that whale into a ditch, all right? And I'm proud to serve with the rest of you.
The first thing that, okay, all right, let me just start from the top. Give me 5 minutes, okay? Number one, I'm the son of an alcoholic, and I saw in you a lot of the things that I did not like about my dad. And we all know what my dad did to me and my family, and so that alone is enough.
Because you bring it up a lot.
I just, man, there are things in this world that only God can forgive, and that's 2 of them in my book. Those are things I have no desire to forgive you for. I have no desire to show you respect because you did those things. You have to do so much charitable work, so much good in your life, and I don't see a sign of you doing any of it. Are you?
The most infuriating part of the entire podcast is that Boogie's taking this holier than thou point of view. It's like, Blade, you're such a piece of shit. You're a horrible person. You have to do all this stuff to fix all the mistakes you've done in your life. And it's coming from Boogie. Boogie, the guy who constantly says he's going to game end himself and is currently, you know, manipulating, and I can't say the word I want to say, but starts with an M and ends in test, a 20-year-old girl who's going to have her entire future ruined because of this fat, pathetic slob. That's the guy who's going to stand there and say, yeah, you know, God's going to smite you, buddy. Where you're going, it's especially hot. It's like, Boogie, you have a no self-awareness. None. It's like, how are you this delusional all the time? And it's like, I have no sympathy for you. I was the son of an alcoholic, and look how I turned out, a piece of shit. It's like, I'm glad Tommy C jumped in and said, yeah, you bring that up because you need to be a victim in every category. It's like, oh, you know, Blade, you've done some horrible shit. Well, I did some horrible shit too, but at least my dad did me. It's like, Boogie, I fucking hate you. You're the worst type of person. Nobody wants to hang out with you. Nobody likes you. You got a little girl around your finger that you can manipulate, and you're just so happy as a clam.
Like, the irony in the room is I'm a 400-pound man pushing 40 myself. I'm going out with you, Blade.
I don't think so, buddy. I'm sorry.
You don't think so? Look, let me let you on a secret here, right? Much like Boogie, I'm the son of an alcoholic too, and I've seen 3 men in my life go through what you're about to go through. And I can give you point blank what your life's about to turn to. First thing you're going to notice is your piss is going to turn neon orange. Have you already started noticing that yet? Where your piss starts turning neon orange? Then you're going to start noticing that everybody else is hot and you're going to be cold because your body's going to stop being able to regulate itself. And then you're going to start getting the thing called lymphedema. Lymphedema is when your legs start to swell up. They're going to swell up to the point where your pores are going to start pushing out, right? And you're going to die cold and alone off the charity of the fans that basically pay you to do yourself.
And I'll be honest with you, if it happens to you, I'm not going to shed a tear. We woke up one night in the middle of the night and we had a stroke like something. I've heard it called alcoholic seizures. I've heard it called simply a stroke. But just like that. And here's the thing. God did not have the mercy to kill that man.
Oh, of course, Boogie's got to interject. Boogie's got to interject with Wings giving some pretty solid information related to, you know, cirrhosis of the liver or whatever else, whatever other ailment that Blade might have. Even though it's lymphedema and not lymphedemia, I'm pretty positive about that. But either way, you know, slip up. I don't say the right words all the time, so I'm not gonna beat you over the head with a wrought iron over there, Mr. Wings. But of course, Boogie's got to interject and say, I have no sympathy for you, none at all. If you decayed right here in front of me, I would piss all over you, and it would make me feel happy because I gotta go and eat a family-sized KFC bucket of chicken right after this because I'm just salivating at the idea that there's somebody more pathetic and worthless than me. And that's Boogie. That's Boogie in a nutshell. You just wrap him up and you say, ooh, yeah, you know, I'm such a good little boy. I'm a such a sweet little boy. Don't feel bad for me. Please feel bad for me. If you don't, I'm gonna say some horrible shit about you. Boogie doesn't even know who Blade is. And the crazy part is, they're somehow making Blade look redeemable. Blade is a scummy, garbage person. And somehow all these other horrible people are lifting him up, you know, with their fatty hanging down arms, lifting him up into the sky to say, don't worry, buddy, we're gonna paint you in a positive light by us